Hey everybody, RockPaperMario here, and welcome to the part 1 of Let's Play Knuckles Chaotix. You might be forgiven for... okay, let's just stop this in its tracks right now. No one needs to see the demo of a level after like 5 seconds on the menu screen. We're off to a rocky start. I'll just press start to stop that happening. You might, while I fiddle with the options here, but that looks okay to me. No, I don't want that. No, wait a second, that is perfectly fine. You might be forgiving for never having heard of this game before, even if you're like somewhat of a Sonic fan, because it's somewhat obscure. Partly because of the console it was released on. It was released on the Sega 32X, which was like an add-on for the Sega Mega Drive. So you had to have this add-on to be allowed to play this game in the first place. Kind of like the equivalent of like those games that they released for the new 3DS that you can only play on the new 3DS or whatever. But yeah, I think the best way to explain what this game is all about is just to get started. Be careful not to select no save, because then it won't save at all. I've made that mistake before and then wondered where all my data was. So we're going to choose data 1 and we're going to choose auto save mode, so it'll just save automatically. As you might be able to tell from like the title of the game, this is a Knuckles-centric game, which is somewhat of a bonus, somewhat of a novelty in and of itself, because Knuckles is the main character here, but he's not like a main character in that you're always going to be playing as Knuckles. If you want, you never have to play as Knuckles for anything other than this like initial part of the game, like the initial walkthrough levels or whatever. But we'll get to that. What's more important and more pressing at the moment is that we just saw Dr. Robotnik, who we've interrupted during his dastardly scheme to do something untoward with SBO. And we even have Metal Sonic in this game, so we already have some brilliant ingredients here. We have Knuckles as the main character, we have SBO from Team Chaotix, we have Dr. Robotnik and Metal Sonic, who is just my brilliant villain altogether. If you don't mind, I'm going to take the liberty of skipping the tutorial, just because there are these these demo levels at the beginning anyway, and it'll give me a chance to just like talk about it anyway. You might be able to tell I have like a partner character, so at the moment I'm playing as Knuckles. SBO is my partner character. We're like tied together with this ring, with this like tether at the moment. Knuckles still has all his own little tricks, like gliding and climbing up walls. Each character in this, of which there are many, have like their own little special thing. Now hold, that's like something else to demonstrate. If you press like the B button at any time, it'll like stop the other character in place. And even if you like let go, like Knuckles will just remain tethered to that one spot. But you can also use it to build up momentum to be able to go really, really fast. So that's generally what you're going to be doing. Hold is also useful for moments like this where you want to like flick a switch, or where there are like 2 switches that have to be pressed at the same time. So basically the game just needs a bit of getting used to. It's actually really, really cool once you get used to it, and once you can like wrap your head around the physics, like when to let go and when to have like the other character let go and things like that. You can also pick up the other character and throw them and stuff. And like as I say, there are like several different characters. Like as far as like playable characters, you can play as look, see, now I'm picking him up right now, even though that's not really that useful. What I want him to do is to come over here. Come on, for God's sake. But like as regards like main playable characters are concerned, you're going to have Knuckles, you're going to have SBO obviously, that you can actually play as well on his own, and you're also going to have the other members of Team Chaotix, which if you've watched like my LP that I did over on Buttvault back in the day, oh my god, how long ago was that now? Like definitely about like that's probably like 6 years ago now at this stage, which is ridiculous to even think about. Like look, another example, you can like hold him there and like use him to like spring your main character up. Like, I'm conscious of the fact that I'm doing like a bad job of explaining this, but like it's something that you really have to play to understand it. if you press the A button on the controller at any time, it'll like bring your partner character back to you. So if they get stuck somewhere, or if they're just not going where you want them to go, you can like press A at any time and it'll like summon them again. But yeah, like the to get back to what I was saying, the other like Chaotix characters. Now what I like to do is actually this. Like I like to use like some momentum at the start to like get me going, so that I can hold again to get even more momentum. That's usually what I like to do. On springs, sometimes I just like to hold the other character just because it seems to make it work better. So yeah, basically you can get more height that way, like more distance on the y-axis, and you can get more distance on the x-axis by using momentum like that. So it's pretty cool. It's really, really interesting, and it's really different from like your regular Sonic fare. As you saw, I was able to like throw him up there to be able to reach like the higher like I'll show that again, like throw him up to be able to reach the higher ground, and then he'll automatically like pull you back up. SPO actually needs to be on here to activate this switch, and kindly enough he'll like drag you back up there again. So as I say, like it's really hard to explain what exactly you're doing, but once you kind of get into the logic of it, it's actually really cool, and it feels like really natural. Funnily enough, you would never think it would. But yeah, just to get back to like who the Chaotix characters are, we'll see them in the menu once we get that far. So I don't really want to spoil it, but you guys like might know some of them from my original Sonic Heroes LP, where I like took the control of the Chaotix characters, which was something special. That goes without saying. That LP was just ridiculous. You'll find like loads of opportunities to just go flying all over the screen in this game, which is like fun in my opinion. Like the levels are designed in a kind of a weird kind of a way, because you'll never really, there aren't really a lot of bad nicks in this game, is what you'll notice. Like there's a lot of just kind of like running around, and a lot of just kind of going crazy. I might as well show off the special stage while I'm at it. We've got time. And like basically it has like, it looks really unique compared to other Sonic games. Like you'll notice that like it's making use of like the Sega 32X graphics a lot. So it like looks like really colorful, like and like there's a lot of this kind of like polygon kind of stuff going on. As well, the music just has like a certain flavor all of its own. Like it just sounds different compared to other like games of the original like Sega Mega Drive era. Like it just has its own sort of, like it's kind of hard to explain. Like obviously it's able to have like more stuff in there and more data in there just by virtue of the fact that it's on the 32X, so it's a 32-bit game as opposed to a 16-bit game. So it just sounds different, and the music has like its own different sort of thing going on, just like the way it looks does. I find sometimes the levels have a tendency to look kind of cluttered and have too much color, because it's almost like they went absolutely crazy with all the detail and just like threw a load of stuff onto the screen. But like for the most part, everything looks really, really nice, and it just like it feels unique, kind of like how Sonic CD, like if you know Sonic CD, like it looks like a regular original Sega Sonic game, but it kind of has its own kind of little style, and the music has its own like certain style just by virtue of the fact that it was on a CD and not on a cartridge, so they were able to do more with it. And like a lot of the levels in this game, they kind of remind me a lot of Sonic CD, to be honest. Like they just feel a lot like it, as far as like the way they look is concerned and the way the music is concerned. It's just because it's like not 16-bit, it looks 16-bit but it doesn't, and it sounds 16-bit but it doesn't. So yeah, that's my like brief little strange disjointed explanation of why this game feels and looks different and sounds different. So yeah, sorry if there's like graphical errors here at this point, but the emulator doesn't seem to like this screen very much, but this is the only point where it'll happen. So we have the choice now to play as Knuckles, with who we have been playing as. Mighty, who you might not recognize at all, as this is like the only game he was really in, and then SBO, Charmy, and Vector, the original, like, or the Team Chaotix characters you might know from Sonic Heroes. Because like Mighty is someone we're not really that used to seeing that often, we're going to play as him for a bit. I'm like planning on just kind of switching up who I'm going to be playing as during these during this LP, so I'll play as Mighty for a bit to show him off, and then I'll switch to Vector to show him off, Charmy and all that. So this is like something else that's kind of different compared to usual Sonic games. You're not going to be playing through each level in any specific order. These are like the 5 main zones that there are, and each of those have, I think, 5 levels in them, but they're all kind of short, like 5 acts. But yeah, so it's time to like choose which partner we're going to have. So this is basically all of our little Chaotix buddies are like trapped in here, and of course I had to pick him on like the first go. Well, look, I'll get this like fat ass shown off, and then we'll condemn him to never being played as ever again. This is Heavy. There are like 2 other like characters that you can have as partners but can't play as, and one is Heavy and one is Bomb. Heavy's kind of gimmick is that he's really heavy and will slow you down a lot. You can't throw him as far as like other characters, but he destroys everything that he hits, so it's kind of like that's the plus to it all. As we continue on through here, I never even explained what the story is. This is basically like a giant amusement park that Dr. Robotnik has on this island or whatever, so yeah, that's where we are. It's kind of like Sonic Colors, and this is how we're going to be choosing which level we're going to be starting off in and playing first. But I think I'll leave that until the next part, so thanks a million for watching part 1 of Let's Play Knuckles Chaotix. I'll see you next time. Bye now.